I am so pleased to invite back to the Bima of North Shore Congregation Israel, Rabbi Stephen Hart, was blessed to partner here at NSCI for years with Rabbi Bronstein and is a dear friend of the family. Steve?
My very dear friends, I am humbled, I am honored, I am blessed, and personally deeply saddened this afternoon to stand together with each and every one of you. Rabbi Bronstein's very dear family, rabbinic and cantorial and educational colleagues, members of this wonderful congregation that had the good fortune of having Rabbi Bronstein serve as your senior rabbi for a quarter century, and then senior scholar for another 26 years. As well as acknowledging this afternoon all of those who were blessed to call Rabbi Bronstein their friend, and yes, their teacher over the years. There is a long-standing Jewish custom and practice of which Rabbi Bronstein was so very familiar, of reciting 100 blessings each and every day, that we should be continually, even amidst our moments of loss and sorrow, we should continually be in a place of praise and acknowledgement of all of our daily blessings. Of those 100 blessings, the tradition goes on to say that the most important of all, a timeless blessing, is that of gratitude. So how appropriate, therefore, that we should pause at this moment in our service devoted to sacred and to personal memory to share a sense of profound gratitude. Profound gratitude for Rabbi Bronstein's life and the meaning that I know he brought to each and every one of us. For amidst the deep sense of loss that is felt, I know, so personally amongst us, we pause at this hour to count our collective blessings and acknowledge all of the many gifts of his life and his spirit that are now a part of each and every one of us. We are forever grateful, O Eternal One, source of all of our blessings, for this moment to join together in sacred memory and to recall with abundant love the life, the neshama, the soul and the spirit and the essence of our very dear friend, Rabbi Herbert Bronstein. My dear friends, I began my rabbinic career here at North Shore Congregation Israel in 1986 with Herbert Bronstein as my senior colleague. I spent 7 years alongside Rabbi Bronstein on this very bima. And I recall vividly walking out together to this sacred space from our hidden location. For those of you that don't know, that hidden location behind the ark, as the talented organist Paul Vanderweel, who is here with us this afternoon, and it was so very good to see Paul. As the talented organist Paul Vanderweel played the opening song, and together we stood side by side in welcoming the new year in Shabbat and bar and bat mitzvah students, vividly recalling the many Hanukkah services and the celebration of light that took place on this bima, and especially one particular Purim, where Disney's Beauty and the Beast was the theme. And there we were in this very, very place, arm in arm, dancing across the bima together. Me as the beauty, complete with my mustache and all, and Rabbi Bronstein as the beast. Rabbi Bronstein's lifelong partner, Tamar, was also ever present. If she was not there as part of any special musical program or leading the choir, she was ever present to lend her encouragement, her help, and her support. But my relationship with this wonderful congregation did not begin, however, in 1986, in serving as assistant and then associate rabbi. But rather, I had the good fortune 10 years earlier, in 1976, to be hired as the youth director for several years before making my way to my rabbinic studies. And over those years, I not only witnessed and participated in Shabbat services with, yes, my guitar in hand, but witnessed firsthand Rabbi Bronstein's brilliance, his brilliance outside the synagogue and sanctuary, in relationship with the youth and the Karav experience. Extended weekends were created from year to year with high school students and a very talented group of adult faculty. And they entitled that experience Karav. Karav from the Hebrew meaning to draw close or to draw near, or from the acronym Kihilat Harav. This was the community of the rabbi. Everyone would join together prior to the weekend to choose a theme, which of course Rabbi Bronstein guided very, very carefully, you need to know. And most years they were meant to be mystical in nature, being introduced to such concepts maybe way before their day of tikkun, of finding one's ultimate purpose in life. And under Rabbi Bronstein's guidance, the conversations were deep, they were remarkable, and profound and emotional moments were created. I was fortunate over the years, first as youth director and then as rabbi, to lead the music for Karav. For amongst Rabbi Bronstein's many, many talents, his many gifts, he was truly a master. He was a master in creating the moment, whether it was at camp or on the bima. He had an instinctual sense of how to create and craft each and every moment, and yes, to make it sacred. When to speak, when to sing, and when to sit in silence. That was a remarkable, remarkable gift that he gave to me. And I know he shared with many others as well over the years. And throughout my rabbinic career, it was as though he was speaking to me when it was my turn to create the moment. And for this gift, amongst many, I will be eternally grateful. For beginning with my connections with the youth department of the congregation, I had the great, great fortune with first my girlfriend, then my fiance, and then in 1978, my wife, Mendy, to be by my side as we got to know not only Rabbi Bronstein and Tamar, but also each of their children, and Deborah, and Miriam, and Daniel, the entire Bronstein family. Although not exactly babies, we stayed with them at their home in those early days on Sheridan Road, before Mendy and I were married, which made for, how should I say, an interesting living arrangement, with Herb and Tamar being away. And as Deborah and Miriam and Daniel all then moved on with their respective lives in different communities, our lives continued to cross paths over the years. There were the common roots in Cincinnati, Ohio, with Mendy, the University of Cincinnati, as well as Walnut Hills High School. Always made for wonderful, nostalgic conversation with Rabbi Bronstein over the years. And Deborah and Miriam and Daniel, our hearts reach out to each of you this day of personal and of sacred memory in your lives. We ask that the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that the Holy One, that the memory of moments you were blessed to share together in life with your Father will always be a source of comfort and peace to each of you. And may his Shem Tov, may his good name always be remembered for much goodness and blessing. And yes, I will also recall so vividly Rabbi Bronstein's daily routine, a very early morning riser, would love to take long walks, to ride his bike. Loved, yes, particularly being in nature, time on the ski slopes, special love of the botanic gardens. And yes, each day would not be complete without study and grounding himself in Jewish tradition. As has been noted, his fondness for Shakespeare and attending regularly with Tamar the Shakespeare Festival in Stratford, Ontario, is a very, very important part of his life. Their lives together were enriched by culture and participation in the life of the community. And so, this afternoon, dear friends, we recall with love not only a gifted congregational rabbi, first at Temple Brit Kodesh in Rochester, New York for 15 years, and then here in this sanctuary at North Shore Congregation, Israel. We remember with love a remarkable scholar, a teacher, a lecturer, a community and social justice activist, an interfaith leader, a liturgist, and author. Rabbi Bronstein touched the lives of so many over the years with his brilliance, both in the community, in the classroom, outside of the classroom, locally, nationally, within the Jewish community, and intimately involved in the well-being of the larger community as well. An active participant in interfaith relations, founding numerous ecumenical organizations locally, regionally, internationally, the Council of Religious Leaders of Metropolitan Chicago, but of all of his many, many interfaith contributions, the Parliament of World Religions had a very, very special place in his heart. Attending conferences in Cape Town, South Africa, Barcelona, Spain, as well as here in Chicago. Of all of his remarkable academic contributions, as well as community activism, acts of tikkun olam, of fixing, repairing, and healing God's world, as has been noted, many, many associate his good name with shaping the liturgy and ritual of our movement. Of the Reform Liturgy Committee of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, and yes, the remarkable, remarkable Haggadah and the Five Scrolls Festival Liturgy. He was truly a pioneer in bringing relevance and meaning to the Reform prayer experience. So, dear friends, there is a prayer traditionally recited after the completion of learning. It is called Kaddish de Rabbanan. It is called the Kaddish of the rabbis, or the Kaddish of the teachers. In the contemporary vernacular version written by Debbie Friedman of blessed memory, the prayer says the following: For my teachers and for my students and for the students of my students, I ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say, Amen. And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say, Amen. And yes, may there be peace and loving kindness, and let us say, Amen. I offer this final prayer as a teacher, and yes, as a student of Rabbi Herbert Bronstein. His legacy of teaching, his love of Torah, and the doing of good deeds will always continue to be a source of blessing to all of those who are touched by his presence and by his words. May his Shem Tov, may his good name always be remembered for much goodness and for blessing. And to all these words we now say,